Right. Um, we're recorded in Shamayim and in the Haaretz. You know that we want to make sure, just like with the Mishkan and the Beis Hamikdash, which is only a reflection of the spiritual Beis Hamikdash. So too, we want to make sure that everything is parallel. So I want to make sure you have been recorded actually 24/7 in heaven. So to give you a feel of it, I'm recording you here. Okay, so I mean, really, I'm recording myself because we got to check those men, make sure they behave, and that's it's a training for myself, really. Okay, so we're cutting to Devorah. Just before that, I know last time we spoke a bit about the Mishkan, the Beis Hamikdash, and I like always to connect things, and obviously everything is Gashgacha Pratis, and everything connects together in the same time. So we happen to be learning from Devorah, we happen to be learning the parts of the body corresponding to the spheros, and right now we're learning in the part that correspond to Keter. Well, second chapter, we read last week about what type of thought we should have, the thought process should only think good, and now we are about to read the third part of the head corresponding to Keter, and that's is corresponding to the forehead. What I found interesting is, based on what we said last week, so first of all, there's a great book called Mishkan Elyon, Secret of the Future Temple. If you want to know, so it's written by the Ramchal, Rabbi Moshe Chaim Luzzatto. If you want to know the secret of the third temple, or a better understanding of the future temple, or if you want to know how the third temple is going to look like, most people don't know, but I know, because the Ramchal, that's how the third temple used to look like. I mean, is going to look like. So meaning that in the center of the whole temple, it's a square as opposed to a rectangle, because basically everything is unified, right? Everything is symmetrical. And in the center, you're going to have the Mizbeach, as opposed, right? The second temple, completely different, right? Now, we were speaking about male and female power, right? So if you see here, the Ezrat Nashim, right, which is the women's court, is at the entrance before what we call it the men's court, right? But it's not only for men, but mostly for men. And there you have the Israeli court and the Avoda, but that they were like kind of separated, so to speak. First you have the women, then ladies first, and then the men. Which tells you, by the way, that if you want to go to the Kedosh Kedoshim, no, I'm seeing there's a guest, Ezekiel Neymar. That's not. I don't know if maybe there's some woman using their husband's Zoom, so I don't know. I'm not sure if I should admit. How can I know? 1 second. Okay, I don't know. But I know some women use their husbands. Okay. Okay, so as we said, you have the women's court. So first, in order to go to reach Hashem, the Holy of Holies, you have first to go through the women's court, which means that if you want to be able to be close to Hashem and go to the deeper part of yourself, you need to first to deal with your feminine self. You need to be able to handle a woman or treat a woman properly. That's one of the reasons why you have the women's court before. And interesting, if you see here, where's the woman's court? All around. She's like it's the perfect surrounding. The female energy, the female court is surrounding perfectly the Mizbeach and the Mishkan, which means that we have integrated that our femininity in a complete how you say, just like at the wedding, it's surrounding by the Ashkenaz, they go around the Khatan like that. She has created that house, that perfect symmetrical house, which in the first and second temple, it was not like that. It was almost separated, yeah, right? There's almost no connection between here and here. Now it's really all connected from all sides, right? So you see already in there that when we're speaking about male-female energy and the need to find one's, especially the men of today, to find their female energy and learn how to use it. That's basically the rectification. Really is it's shown here on the third temple, and it's the Ramchal says that one of the main thing in the Beis Hamikdash is the Chesed and the Devorah, the giving and the taking, the male and female energy being constantly at play in order to create the perfect balance, to create the perfect house, to create the perfect relationship with God, right? Imagine the Kohen Gadol is the Kohen Gadol is the wheel in your there's two ways to look at it. Let's not make it too complicated. The Kohen Gadol represents the Jewish people, and so we are the wife, and Hashem is the husband, and Beis Hamikdash is our home. So we are whatever we see the Kohen Gadol do in the Beis Hamikdash, or whatever it's happening in Beis Hamikdash, the way it's run, or the Mishkan, is a way to learn how to connect, to have a relation with God on a deeper level. That's why we have all those korbanos, because when you go on a date, what's the first thing you do? You go eat. Meaning in the home, one of the main place of meeting is really the dining room table, right? Where we eat together. That's the moment where our Shabbat is so important, because you can have the husband not watching the show or the TV or his phone, and you can have the kids not on their tablet or on the whatever their games, and then you have the woman also not on her phone or social media, and you can have everybody at the table focused, and that's why it's important. But it's very important for a family to be together at a meal, right? Even if you cannot do it every day, but it's good to have at least one meal a day where you are eating together, you're facing each other, you're looking at each other. Cell phone should be forbidden at the table. I'm talking to myself too. I actually designed a love box. This is a love box, and basically the goal is to show you that no cell phone allowed. So you come at the table, and to show love to the other, you put your cell phone in the box. Put away your phone and enjoy your husband, right? And then I have some for men also. Only it says, I feel you no longer love me. I want the same attention you give your phone. Now that's a big one. So this is something that we need to do, and it shows you the importance of the Mizbeach, of the Korbanos. It seems that that's the main thing, and in the third temple, it's right in the middle. So it shows, again, that's just one idea of dealing with understanding the message of the Beis Hamikdash and how it relates to our relation with God and the male-female. On top of that, every part of the temple has correspond to the sphera. In a way, when we learn Tomer Devorah, we're learning about the all the parts of the Beis Hamikdash. I was actually checking today in the second Beis Hamikdash, right, and the first also, if I remember correctly. Here you have chambers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3. Guess what that is? It's the 13 attributes of mercy, which correspond to Keter, which Keter correspond to the Kedosh HaKedoshim. So you see how everything is consistent. Whatever we learn in Tomer Devorah, you're going to see reflected in the temple and reflected on you. One of the things I'm not sure, I mean, I know there's the 13 parts of the beard. The beard represents mercy, and that's why a man is not supposed to clean shave, at least not with a razor, certain part, 13 points. That's why some people just let everything grow. But I guess that's my answer. The 13 parts of the, well, the women don't have a beard, but they also have 13 attributes connected to their face. So it might be just the part of the face. I'm not sure exactly. This and it's tzarich iyun. Okay, so that was just a word of introduction to connect a little bit the Parsha and Tomer Devorah and the Beis Hamikdash. This week's Parsha is the Parsha Tetzaveh, and we're learning about the okay, let me just check that everybody here is there's someone here called Menachem. Is this a man or woman? Because it's a class for women only. So I know some women use their husband. So if Menachem can answer, otherwise it'll be removed. Menachem, going once. Oh, that's okay, no problem. Night. Okay, just making sure. Okay, I think people are mixing with because it was put on the Midos thing, so that's why people got mixed up. Okay, anyway, let's continue. Tomer Devorah. So what we're going to say, it's the Kohen Gadol, the garment, and we know every part of the Kohen Gadol correspond to character traits. And but actually, I'm going to do a video, Business Hashem, tomorrow, connected to anger and gaiva, which has to do with certain clothes of the Kohen Gadol. This is why he wears certain clothes, to work on those character traits. So why this part of the clothes? So, it gives you a hint on how to work on those. But here we're up to the third part. I mean, the chapter 3 of the third part of Keter. It's one's forehead, metzach. So one's forehead should not contain any harshness. Rather, one should constantly emulate the supernal metzach of willingness and appease all. Even when he finds people angry at one another, obviously, he should appease and pacify them with his goodwill. For the supernal metzach of willingness constantly placates strict judgment and rectifies them. So he too should appease those intense people who intensify their anger. In many ways, very connected to Aaron HaKohen, right? And Aaron HaKohen was the one who Ohev Shalom, Rodef Shalom, and so it's directly connected to the forehead. So what he should do? He should guide them with goodwill and complement this with his great wisdom to nullify their anger, lest it overstep its boundaries and cause damage, God forbid. So one should follow the example of divine will, which derives from the wondrous chokhmah in the Metzach of Atik, whence all strict judgment are appeased. This quality derives from being constantly pleasant toward people, for if his traits are in any aspect harsh towards others, they will not be placated by him. This is the meaning of the Mishnah. Anyone who, right, call sheruach habrios nocha hemenu, ruach hamakom nocha hemenu. Anyone whom the spirit of people is pleased with, the spirit of the omnipresent is also pleased with him. Meaning, if you have a lot of enemies, not good. Hashem doesn't want to be with someone who has a lot of enemies. Now, obviously, there's a difference if you're the one who make the enemies, or if they just, don't like you because you're so honest, or you like you because you don't want to never listen to my Lashon Hara, or they don't like you because, you only like to talk about, spiritual stuff. Like, okay, that's not your responsibility. But how you as a person, are you someone that people like to hang around? It's like, oh yeah, I know that guy is always smiling. Oh, I know that girl, she's always very, calm, relaxed. She's always enthusiastic, and our forehead, forehead's like, someone's always like that. You have people, they're always serious like that. It's like, although if, your face matters, right? It says in Pirkei Avos, right? You should receive every human being with a face, a beautiful face, with a good countenance, with a positive, shining face, right? So we have to think about it, because, if I smile at you, right? And I mean, hey, how are you? It says like, hey, how are you today? Like, you don't you don't want to respond to that. So you have to be, again, in Kabbalah, the way Adam Harishon is described, or Adam Kadmon is described, I should say, in the Etz Chaim, is that, right, we have different cavities or holes. We have the ears, the eyes, although it's, it doesn't look like it's hole, but really it's the same. It's then the nose and the mouth. Those are 7, right? It corresponds also to 7 spheros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 being malchut, the mouth. So what's going on is that the way the Zohar describes it, the Etz Chaim describes it, is that from it there's light coming out of it, right? And we have to realize that when you look at someone, you're being, in a way, irradiated or affected by his look, by his face, because it's full of energy, right? The energy of the mouth, the energy of the nose, the energy of the ears, the energy of the eyes. And the energy of the eyes, we know, especially Sephardi women, chamsa, are very careful about it, because Ain Hara, be careful, right? So we have to understand how powerful our face is. And we need to have a positive face, positive attitude, and here especially, our forehead should contain no harshness, right? So when you speak to people, don't be very serious like that. If it's always serious, you don't want to talk to them. You don't want to identify. To have someone who is in a good, positive face. And this is one of the reasons Hashem made, those eyelashes and all those, eyebrows, like. So you have someone who is happy, like, so you see it right away. So what type of light do you give? Okay, this is gonna affect you, the recipient. Is gonna affect the other. So if you want to be like that divine you, I forgot if I explained it the first time, the human body, right? So you have your body, and then there's a body of you in heaven, right? And that the perfect body of you, and it's sleeping. Right now, you're dreaming, you're in the dream, but the real you is sleeping, right? So when you die, that's when you wake up. It's the end of your dream. You wake up and you get into that. Well, there's a little process, sometimes a little bit of Gehinnom or cleansing, to go back to your body. But when you wake up, you're in that new body, that suit, so to speak, but the spiritual one, which correspond to who you have been here. So the thing is that this dream is very real, right? It's like the Matrix in many ways, for those who know the Matrix. What happens in the Matrix actually is going to affect who you are when you wake up, right? Whatever you do in this world is going to affect who you are in Olam Haba. So if, I'm my face is smiley and shiny and, happy, when I'm going to wake up, my face is naturally going to be like that in heaven, with all the spiritual lights connected to that. But if my whole life I'm sounding serious like that, then when I'm going to wake up, I'm going to look in the mirror in heaven, and there won't be so much light on my forehead or my face because I've been dark my whole life, right? So I'm going to require a lot of cleansing, which is not so much fun because, here we use soap, or mikveh, but in heaven it's a bit tougher. The mikveh is very, very hot. But yes.
Rabbi, quick question. I'm sorry. So if we're dreaming of there, then what about like when we sleep here and we have dreams?
Okay, you ask your question again, sorry.
You said that in Shemayim, our bodies, that we're sleeping here or we're dreaming there. No, after 120 years old, you said we're gonna wake up over there.
Yes.
So, but right now that we're alive here in this world, we're dreaming. We're really dreaming.
Yes.
But we have dreams in this world also when we sleep.
Yes. So that's. You never saw Inception?
Okay.
Did you ever see Inception or not?
Yeah.
So a dream within a dream. Right.
That's it. Okay.
That's why Hashem made the movie Inception, for us to understand that concept. So
that movie was very confusing. No, but it's.
I know, but
like a dream and a dream within a dream.
For us to understand how it works, Hashem made that concept of sleeping and dream. What do we need to dream? Why did Hashem create dreaming? For us to understand what we say, Shir Amalos Hainu Kechomim. In Shir Amalot, we say we will be like dreamers. We're going to realize we have been like dreamers. It says what in we said in Tikkun Chatzot, or before we say Birkat Hamazon, there's that psalm. It says Hainu Kechomim. We were like dreamers, because we were like dreamers our whole life. We didn't realize it was really much more real than we think, but we look at this world as a dream, I'm gonna die and it's over. It's not. It's much more of a realistic dream that you think. So that's the idea. Okay, so the thing that I wanted to mention with the Metzach was so because on the Kohen Gadol had also something. He had the tzitz on his forehead. The tzitz, the golden headpiece worn on the hat of the Kohen Gadol. It atones for brazenness or chutzpah, right? It atones for chutzpah, that tzitz. So here you see it has to do with harshness, meaning chutzpah is really already like you know, a level of a little bit arrogance, and it's something a bit intense that should not be used. So it's the seed is connected to that part of the body, so we can make a connection between the two. Just wanted to point that out. Okay, so we continue to number 4. The 4 is the ears. One's ears should always turn to hear good, with false or despicable report, while false or despicable reports should not enter them at all. Just as in the essence of supernal listening, any cry for strict judgment or any blemish of evil gossip does not enter there. So too, one should not listen to anything except that which is good or of practical use. To other things which intensify anger, he should not listen at all. And just as the words and speech of the serpent have no entry above, so too no despicable thing should have any entry in him, in his ears. This is the meaning of the phrase, you shall not accept a false report. How much more does this apply to other despicable things, which should not enter one's ears at all, and he should only be listening to good things. So it tells you, you know, how to use your ears. And by the way, in the Beis Hamikdash, the ears correspond. I found out today because I was serious. You have the menorah correspond to the eyes, and you have the nose is the Taurus, and the mouth is the lechem apanim, right, the chalos. And but where are the ears? So the ears is actually the, if I remember correctly, the paroches. Well, I have it here. The paroches is the, if I forget, it's the two beams that are there, or the paroches. Again. Oh boy. I hope I didn't lose the source for that, because if you knew how many different opinions there are about like the different part of the Beis Hamikdash or the Mishkan, and correspond to the parts of the face, it's a little bit confusing. Okay, but so okay, so I got it. Is the two poles, sorry, that touch the paroches. You know, there's two poles that holds the Aron HaKodesh, right? It's carried by two poles. So those are the ears. Some say there were two sets of two poles, or at least on the poles on two sides and two sides. So with the ears and the eyes. Okay, but it makes sense that the ears correspond to the poles because it's seeing and hearing. So seeing, hearing the Torah in Galus, and it's holding the Torah that we have, and the Aaron represents our Torah. So the poles are the Torah that we listen to, and therefore correspond to the ears. Anyway, that's how I used to only go to Shabbos table when people will speak about Torah. Now, I was maybe a bit of a fanatic. I was about Tshuva at the time, but I couldn't stand going to a Shabbos table. When I used to go to a Shabbos table, I wanted to hear Torah. I wanted to hear about God. I wanted to hear about life, about something important and real. And very, very often, unfortunately, I will go to families and they will not say anything, or they will talk about business, and I was very zamar, so I won't go there again. We, you know, when you what is your purpose? What are you living for? You know, you have to ask yourself, what should my day be focused? What should I run to hear? What should I be interested in? You know, some people, they can speak for hours on about football or about baseball or about a shaitel. Like, why are you wasting so many words and understanding that your ears are also spiritual, right? When you wake up, do you want ears that are you know, beautiful, that can hear God's secrets, or you want to have ears that are not attuned because they have been blemished by all the stuff, and you know, you want to be able to hear the spiritual? Do you want to be able to hear the sound of angels? You want to be able to hear God's Torah? You want to be, so you have to train it here. What it is that you turn your ear to, your head to hear. So that's the training here, and trying to only listen to positive, good things. Don't listen to the news. It's going to make you depressed, and 90% of it is fake. We know enough now with Corona and everything that's happened. So don't only listen to good news. I don't know if it exists, but if you find a channel of good news, please sign me in. You know, I know, I remember in France, like 20, 25 years ago, they had, you know, the news, the bad news, like as usual every day. And at the end, they will put like 30 seconds, oh, you know, a new baby bear was born in the zoo, or like, you know, someone saved someone. So it was good. It led, I guess they realized people were so depressed that they stopped watching the news. So now they put that, they realize we need to put something positive, because, you know, otherwise people are not gonna watch us. Unfortunately, people run to hear. Did you ask yourself, why is it that we run to listen to bad news? Lashonara, we spoke about it a bit, you know, Lashonara, we'll run, that news is juicy, Lashonara, you know, like, oh, I can't wait to share that story with you, like about the neighbor, if he knew what he did, oh my gosh, you know, and we get excited about that. It's crazy that the snake is like, you know, it's like the rattlesnake. We start his tail start like shaking. So our tongue, the snake starts shaking, like, can't wait to say everything that happened, like, juicy. So we have to be careful, very careful. Okay, let's jump to the eyes. Oh, the eyes. No, the fifth part of the head is the eyes. One's eyes should not gaze at all at anything despicable. Rather, they should always be open to watch over unfortunates and have as much mercy on them as possible. And when he sees the suffering of the poor, he should not close his eyes at all, right? One of the beautiful things that I've seen from my father, that I learned from my father, he should be healthy and live long. I never saw my father, and actually I think my mother too, but my father was always very, very consistent, so much so that it had a huge impact on me. I never saw my father walk past a poor person, or even past someone who would play violin in the street, or, you know, those things. I never see him pass anyone and not give something. Never. Which is powerful. You know, it's very easy to say, no, can't, you know, with tight. It's not the amount, it's the idea that, you know, I do care. We should have a positive action, not giving anything, or you can't even give a smile or say, have a good day, God bless you. You see, they are very thankful just by us doing that. But if you don't say anything, you don't look at them, or you don't pay attention, we're closing our eyes. We're not using eyes to see the pain that exists in the world. And part of the healing that we need to do as Jews and as human beings is the empathy, is the love of others, and the ability to feel the pain of others. This is, it is so important, and is a key for connecting to the Shekhinah. Right? It says, where is the Shekhinah when we're in exile? With those who suffer. So turning our eyes away from the people who suffer, it's like turning our eyes away from the Shekhinah. We don't realize there's a lot of people who are alone and suffering, and we need those. That's where you should look. Rather, he should give as much thought to their predicament as possible, arousing the mercy of both heaven and men upon them. Do you realize that when you turn your eyes, there's a poor person sitting on the floor, it doesn't smell good, but you pay attention, you turn your head and you look at that person on the floor and say, here is something, or if you don't have anything, say, have a good day, my friend. And when you do that, it's as if the Shekhinah at that moment or Hashem will turn towards the Shekhinah and pay attention to this world, pay attention to our galus, our pain, our suffering. We have to realize that this is how powerful we are. Especially as Jews, we have to understand we represent the Shekhinah on earth. The non-Jews recognize the presence of God through the life and the history of the Jewish people. So they're supposed to see from us the way Hashem interacts with the world. In many ways, we are supposed to emulate God on earth, which means that we as Jews were supposed to teach and show love to the non-Jews the way God shows us love to us. Understand, right? That this is, well, as we're going to learn in Devorah and Malchus, a man is between two women. If I'm saying correctly, yes, between the Shekhinah and his wife. So he receives from the Shekhinah and then he gives to his wife. So the idea is you receive to be able to give. So we're between, again, that idea. So we as Jewish nation, we're between the Shekhinah and the non-Jews, and we need to understand that we're supposed to pay attention to the world, to the pain, so that Hashem will do the same. First, it's a huge Kiddush Hashem, of course. Okay, now we're up to number 6. Regarding the nose, a breath of wrath should never be found in it. Rather, it should constantly contain the breath of life, goodwill, and patience, even toward those who are unworthy. One should always want to fulfill the desire for others, to satisfy every request, and to revive the broken-spirited. He should always breathe forth from his nose forgiveness of iniquity and pardon of transgression. He should not be angry with those who offend him. Rather, he should constantly be willing to be appeased and should be desirous of kindness, pleasing everyone. So it's interesting that it's connected to the nose, right? But someone who doesn't want to give forgiveness, who is a bit arrogant, he always has his nose up. That's probably why that position, lift up the nose. Now, the Ramchal says, what did we say is the item in the Mishkan or the Beis Hamikdash that correspond to the nose? We said is the Taurus, the Mizbeach HaZahav, the golden altar on which the Taurus was put. So what was the goal? What was the purpose of the Taurus? And we know every part of the Beis Hamikdash had an impact into the entire world, right? The whole, you have to think that, imagine you have the central of electricity. I don't know if you say that in English, central, but the fabric, the main source power, where all the source energy of electricity is for the rest of the world, let's say, doesn't exist today, but let's say for America, right, you have certain place where you have the waterfalls and all that. So that source gives energy to an entire country on the end, right? So same thing, the Beis Hamikdash was that source of energy, like nuclear or spiritual energy that will give the energy for the world. So every item will activate something. So we were the mechanics, mechanician in the in that big machine called the Beis Hamikdash, and we will activate every day the things that are necessary for the world to function and to continue and to work. So this parallels the Beis Hamikdash Mala. The Ramchal and Mishkan Elyon says that if not for the Beis Hamikdash functioning or existing in the heavens, the whole world will disappear, because it's like you unplug the I forgot to turn on this one. If you unplug the wire, then everything shuts down, right? It's dark. So same thing, the Beis Hamikdash powers the whole thing. If it will not exist, then our entire world will disappear in a second. So we try to emulate that as if we are, emulate God. We are God, and we have that Beis Hamikdash, and we give energy through that system so that the earth receive what it needs. And let's remember that everything we do in the Beis Hamikdash is to give goodness into the entire world. People sometimes forget, so we do our own avodah in the Beis Hamikdash. No, this will give everything that the world needs. That's why Chazal say, if the non-Jews had realized how they needed the Beis Hamikdash, they will never have destroyed it, because they receive from it. So, no. So what's the Taurus? Why is it going to the nose? The Taurus, it brings peace. The avodah, by doing the Taurus every day, it will bring peace and annul anger between the people and the nation. That was its purpose. So how many of you are thinking on peace among, like in Ukraine, like what's happening, or in North Korea, or in the Middle East, most people think, but there are still wars in Africa and a little bit everywhere. But how many of us think, I should pray for that African country there, or I should pray for that between the Syrians and the Iran, or whatever it is? Are we praying for that? Our prayers replace the Beis Hamikdash, right? The Korbanot. And we see that the whole Beis Hamikdash was designed to bring goodness on earth. But we, as Jews, because our exile, we're thinking only Jewish. I mean, it's good Jewish, but only Jewish about the Jews. We need to think Jewish about the world. This is a shift that still is missing. It's a shift that the Baal Tshuva movement was supposed to bring a bit to the from world. It's something that we are not connected to the world. We're connected only to the Jews. That's not healthy. You start with the Jews, right? Because you need, you start with your family, but it needs to expand. Because the only reason for Jews is because they're non-Jews. If there were no non-Jews, there's no point of having Jews. Then it's not everybody's Jewish, and there's no need to, to fix the world. So we need to realize that we're here for revealing God to the non-Jews. Because we wanted to reveal it more for us, because we don't see Him. But the goal is to reveal God on earth. Not just on Israel, right? So we need to open our narrow-mindedness, way of thinking. It's Jews for the world, not Jews for Jews, or Jews for Jesus. It's Jews for the world, Jews for humanity. This is why we're here, for nothing else. It shows our, it's a defense mechanism. We have been, persecuted for so many centuries that we have been scared of non-Jews, or we have put the head down. This time is in a way gone, meaning we are now ready to be proud Jews again. I mean, thanks to Hashem bringing us Eretz Israel and all that. So now we have to try to be proud Jews and not being afraid to be a light into the nation. And that's why for the first time in history, non-Jews from thousands and thousands of non-Jews from all over the world, they want to learn Torah, even more than the Jews sometimes. Scary. And they ask questions and they want to know, and how do I serve God, and how. This is where it says when Moshe is going to come, every Jew is going to become a teacher of non-Jews. All of you, you're going to be teaching all the non-Jewish women how to serve God when Moshe comes. Are you ready? Well, we're getting ready right now, yeah. So that's really
yes, we're ready.
I mean,
Rabbi, I think like also like because like people like in terms of like what's going on with like anti-Semitism and everything that's going on, even like around college campuses, you know, like boycotting Israel, this and all that stuff. Like people, like they have like resentment, you know, towards that, and so it's I'll be honest, like it's, you know, yeah, of course, like, you know, I'm all for world peace and everything, but at the same time, it's also it's hard, like emotionally, like for humans, like to see, like, you know, like Jews, like they, you know, they don't deserve to have their own home, like, you know, a country or whatever. Like we have to boycott Israel. Like you see, like all of this is like going on around college campuses, so it's like it creates so much animosity between, you know.
It's true. The problem is that we're just being quiet, or there's a few individuals who, you know, not afraid, like that guy Rudy Guggenheimer or something like that, Rudy, whatever. He's there. We should. I don't understand how we don't have association. You know, there's just like things like Black Lives Matters. You know. Palestine this support. Why we don't have a whole Jewish, you know, movement of awakening and awareness and protecting? And I mean, I know there are certain things, but we don't hear so much. We don't hear so much. There should be you know, Shalom Task Force, not just for marriage, but Shalom Task Force also for Jews in America and Jews in exile. Because
Jews to teach who?
Sorry?
What are you saying? There should be Jews to do what? I'm not understanding something you're saying here.
Oh, I'm saying that the Jews should be proactive in defending other Jews that are being mistreated or being for the anti-Semitism on campus and all that.
So Jews should be standing up for Jews, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. Do you see where Jews are not standing up for Jews? Because I don't see that. I see Jews standing up for Jews.
On college campus?
For sure. For sure. The whole movement behind Ben Shapiro started that way. Absolutely.
Okay. That's true. I mean, I feel that we could be louder, more expressive.
What part of that is Hashem's responsibility?
What part of what?
What part of that is Hashem's responsibility? I mean, he gives us anti-Semitism for a reason.
Yes.
Anti-Semitism is to make sure we remember who we are. That's the whole purpose for anti-Semitism.
Right.
And it's going to be in the world until Mashiach gets here. There's no way to eliminate it.
Well, we can eliminate it if if Jews can love each other, and
then Mashiach will be here.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So when Mashiach comes, anti-Semitism will go away. Until then, it will always be here, and it is futile for us to eliminate or try to eliminate anti-Semitism. It's futile.
I think we have the power to eliminate that if we show how good we are.
We don't. We're kidding ourselves if we think that we are changing someone else's mind, and the problem is they just don't see our goodness. That's not where anti-Semitism comes from.
Because Judaism is a VIP association, a VIP religion, a VIP we were segregating ourselves from the world.
How many
I've
people
been
have you changed, Dodie? How many people's minds have you actually changed? People who were mamish anti-Semitic, and you showed them how good you are,
Right. Yeah.
and
No.
they
Yeah.
changed their mind.
Yeah. That's true. You cannot
doesn't
change someone
happen.
who anti-Semitic. No. It's mostly by changing Jews that you'll change anti-Semitic. That's no question.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean like in fighting in a way that standing. Just like I feel that I guess raising the proud Jew type of attitude, not to fight anti-Semitism directly, but for
To cause Jews to love themselves and
Exactly.
other Jews
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
100%. Okay. All right. Same page now. Thank you.
Thank you.
I also think, if you don't mind my saying, so I think we need to keep a low profile in Goas and not really go out there and fight and speak up, even though we have a tremendous amount of greatness and godliness to share. But we're not, until Mashiach comes, like I think we need to focus on each other, on Avos Yisrael, so that we could bring Mashiach, and then Hashem will be king over the world. But for us to fight the Goyim and to infringe, to push them to not be anti-Semitic, I don't think that's really the calling for today. What do you think?
It's not. And our Chazal tell us, and I don't have exact sources, but we're told that we should avoid public office. Yidden should avoid public office for this reason, because when problems arise, it always turns to the Jews' fault. And if there are Jews in high positions, that's where the problems come.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
But most of the Nobel Prizes are from Jewish.
Yeah, but that's more of the secular ones, not the.
So we
We
bring
know.
good to the world, and I think we should to bring more light and be light. That's why we are spread all over the world, because we should to be sharing our energy. No, I mean not saying that show your face. I'm saying that it you don't have to be so public, even though and smile to someone and be gentle with someone who is non-Jewish. And for me, that many things has changed since I am more proactive, for example, in my kids' school. And I was segregated for so long. And now I am a little bit more proactive and smiling and saying hi and being nice with my neighbors. I have my left neighbor is Muslim, and they were peeing in my plants in my door. Now this lady is saying every day good morning to me, and they are not doing any more pee in my plants.
So two things I want to say, Dodie. Two things I want to say to you. The first one is, no one is saying don't smile and be friendly. No one is saying that. What we're saying is our focus should be on building the Jewish nation, and serving Hashem. That's where our focus should be.
Well, we
Not
should be
on
in
educating.
Israel.
Wait. Not on building the Goyim. That's the first thing. The second thing is, and I need you to hear this very clearly, my friend, okay? You know I would not steer you wrong, right? You can appreciate that she's smiling and saying good morning. Do not mistake her for a friend.
Right.
Oh no.
Okay? Okay.
I'm still reserved, but I at least
Okay.
I still like being tolerated, and I won't lower my guard, but it's still that I don't want that they have a bad idea about who we are, because we are amazing. We have
Sweetie,
Hashem.
I am telling you that even if she's smiling and saying good morning, it doesn't mean that she's not holding hatred in her heart for you. Understand that. understand that the Goyim can smile at you and still hold hatred for you. Understand that.
Yeah, we just have to be careful.
Yeah.
Still got us. Still got us.
Yeah, Esav son as Yaakov. That's what it says. It's
Right.
clear.
She's not a Muslim, is not Asa.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we have to be careful. That's clear. No, but yeah. So I think we're on the same page. Oh, Hashem. Let's see. Oh, it's already 35. So yeah. So let's just finish those two more traits. So we're up to the 7th. We deal with the face. So one's face was connected very much to the metzach, right? That we said the forehead. One's face should always shine, and he should receive all people with a cheerful countenance. For regarding the supernal Keter, it says, "In the light of the king's countenance is life." Be'or panei melech hachaim. And just as no flush of anger or strict judgment enters there at all, so too the light of his countenance should be unchanging, and all who look into his face should find nothing but joy and cheerfulness. No factor should distract him from this at all. Obviously, we're speaking on a very high level, right? We're speaking about Keter, which is the perfection of all perfection. But this is, what we should try to meditate on before we go out of our door. Some people, they kiss the mezuzah, but they don't really think about the mezuzah. What's written in it and what's the purpose, why we have the mezuzah, right? One of the reasons why we have the mezuzah is to meditate on the fact that now I'm about to go into the world and the divine presence is there, and I have a mission to accomplish by going outside my house or inside my house, and I need to resemble a Kohen Gadol. I need to resemble, to be a role model. I need to be someone, like it says, "Panai tihena mirot," tamid, that your face should be constantly shining. You represent the light of Hashem in the world, and people who looks at you should want to see, or who should question themselves and say, why is that person always so shiny? Why is that person always so happy? What is that the energy from? Whether it's Jews and non-Jews. This is the energy we should. But sometimes you go in certain towns or certain neighbors, and you don't want to be their friend because they always their face is always dark or always. No, some people are suffering. That's different. Talking in general, everyday people, we should be more careful. Look in the mirror and play with your face to see how you can look like a shining person. Before you go out, ask your husband or ask your wife, am I shining? And if not, then put a bit more makeup. But we don't need makeup. We need our radiance, the moment we smile, right, and we're positive, it changes. You see it right away. Just as soon as the spring, there's Hashem, and when it's sunny, already people there, the reason that people feel more happy when it's sunny because there's more light. It's connected to that very concept.
Can I offer an analogy here?
Sure.
I believe it's Likutei Maharan that likens our face to the menorah of the Beis Hamikdash. Okay, so we've got the two eyes, the two ears, the two nostrils that represent each of the candles, yes. And then our mouth, which represents the shamash. Yes. And if we think about the way our face works, where does the smile begin? Where does the pleasant countenance begin? With the shamash, with the mouth. So if we start the smile, it spreads to the other candles, so to speak, and then we can bring that shining countenance to the world.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yes.
Oh, it's so beautiful, Miriam. Love it.
Yes, very Nachman stuff. Yes, that's so true. It's the shamash to light up all the other parts. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Okay, one last piece. The eighth piece, the mouth. Coincidence? I don't think so. One's mouth should express nothing but good, and the content of his words should be Torah and constant expression of goodwill. No despicable words, curses, rage, anger, or frivolous talk should escape his mouth. Sometimes people, this is one of the big challenge of teenagers, our teenagers in our generation, that a lot of them listen to music where there's a lot of curse words, all the rap stuff and all that. And the curse, people don't realize that just saying a curse, it's just a word. They don't realize how it affects our personality and our you can have someone super classy, right, with a suit and nice, and but if you hear how he talks, that inside he's dirty, he's not clean. That's, you want to know, you can know someone by the quality of his words. So rather it should resemble the supernal mouth, which is never sealed and never refrains from speaking good at all times. Therefore, one must not silence himself from speaking well to everyone, expressing good words and blessing constantly. So he finishes, these then are 8 good qualities, all of which come under the banner of humility. Okay, so in many ways, if we want to be shiny, if we want to be happy, if we want to be positive, we need to have real humility. And what is real? Why is it connected? Because real humility, it means that Hashem runs the world. That means that everything that happens is l'etat bavid, is for the good. Therefore, there's no reason to be heavy or sad or depressed. If du es Hashem b'simcha, you think that Hashem doesn't know that we're going through so much struggle, that everyone is dealing with sickness or shidduch or all the things that the corona, all that. But even though we go through that, and we still need to have empathy and feel for the people who suffer, we still need to be humble, which means to realize that Gamzu Letova, that all those things really, my life is filled with goodness. Despite all the chischonot, I still have, and the tzarot, they still have a lot of goodness. We wake up every morning, Modeh lefanecha. It should be my first facial expression when I say Modeh, right? Or when I wake up is Modeh lefanecha, right? You started there like that. That's it. It's where it starts, just like the shamash. So they all correspond above to the supernal limbs of Keter. Thus, when a person desires to draw near to the supernal world and emulate him, whenever you feel, that you want to look like God, what should you do? You should do those 8 qualities things. In order to open his source to those below, he must be fully perfected in that which was discussed in these 2 chapters. So here we conclude this part of the second perek, which we will continue from here next time. Anyone has any questions or we're good? Okay. Baruch Hashem. So thank you everybody for joining. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for learning. Thank you for changing the world.
Thank you.
And thank you. And Bezos Hashem will continue with Hashem's help next week. And a good Shabbos to everyone. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you.
Shabbos.
Good Shabbos. Thank you.